Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're located in this wonderful world. So, I'm going to revisit the game from the beginning with all the new things they've added, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the different ways of playing the game real quick. So, we'll go ahead and we'll start a new game. But there's multiple ways of how you can play the game. You can skip by doing the absolute minimum, which I highly suggest not doing. And the reason for that is you're going to run into areas where, for an objective for a quest that you receive along the way, to where you're going to need to repair something, build something, or whatever, where you're going to need resources so you can complete your objective. And if you do what I call being a minimalist in a game like this, where you do the bare minimum to get by, just to race to the end of the game, you're not going to have the resources to complete the objective, to get the rewards from the quest that helps you progress. So I would suggest to at least do a variety of dismantling of items as you go, so that you can have a variety of resources. You know, the metals, you know, at least a few stacks of the metals, plastic, fabrics, all this, the resources that you'll need. Now, the most important thing is when you wake up here with a new character like I just did here, there's 4 beds here that you should dismantle before you leave the building. And the reason for that is they give you high-tech scrap. What's the importance of that? High-tech scrap is the only way, one of the only ways to get titanium. They did put in where you could get chunks, I think it's called, of titanium. And when they added the last listener station or whatever it's called, they look like mountains coming out of the water that you can climb on, and there's chunks that you can use your dismantle tool to grind, and I think they're called titanium chunks, and each one I think will give you a titanium bar, or whatever you want to call it. But as you leave the building here, when you're ready, eventually you're going to end up at a building called the Lazarus Center. That's the building where once you repair everything, you grow your humans to send into space for great rewards. So one of the things you need, or that they're going to have you do in there, is repair one of the 4 machines to grow your humans. Well, 2 of the items that you need, resources that you need to repair those machines, are titanium and carbon fiber. And until you get to where the area where those chunks are, the only way to get titanium and carbon fiber is through dismantling things that give you high-tech scrap. And this room that you wake up in, right there's one of the beds that gives you high-tech scrap. So when you see these beds in the open, as you explore, if you have a low stock or don't have any titanium, you want to dismantle these beds, because they give you 1 high-tech scrap, which can turn into titanium or carbon fiber, or one of both. And in your building here that you wake up in, your dock, you have 4 of these. One in this room, there's 2 other rooms over here when we walk out that's got 1 in each, and then up beside your boat there's another one. So that gives you 4 titanium that you can have before you get to the Lazarus station, and you need 5 titanium and carbon fiber. Now don't sweat it. When you get to the Lazarus station, there's going to be robots that look just like you over here. When you see a robot that looks like you in the wild that's not working, it will always give you high-tech scrap when you dismantle it. So you want to dismantle these as well, and then you take the scrap, run it back to your dismantler on your ship, and turn it into the titanium and or carbon fiber resource. So You want to at least do that so that you have that ready when you get to the Lazara station. You'll at least have a little bit more, because I don't think there's enough robots at the station that you can dismantle to give you the 5 titanium. It's been a minute, so I can't remember how many robots are there. So that's one way to play, is just to be minimal at what you do. The other way is, you know, scrap just enough to get you by. You know, there are multiple ways you can do it that way, but the way that I play is I completely clean an area out. I scrap everything that I can scrap. I want to make sure that I have all the resources I need, so that when I get to a place, I can immediately go see what I need, run back to my boat, make it, go back, and then get my objective done. So those are some ways to play the game, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about games, especially like this in general, is everybody has their own individuality, so everybody has their own idea how they want to play the game. I'm not telling you that you should do this, you should do that. I'm simply telling you that you have options on how you can play the game. Now, there's people that like to race to the end game. Well, this game doesn't really have an end game. I mean, exploration is pretty much all. It's not like there's dungeons where you go fight a bunch of mobs to get great rewards, like in, you know, your other online games like World of Warcraft, things like that. This game, you know, you can race to the end game, and then that leaves basically a lot for you to explore and find new things, new memories, this and that. You want to keep growing humans. You know, I guess that could be considered an end game thing, that when you get to max level and you finish all the quests and you basically beat the game, is you can continue to go back and grow humans, and you grow them, you send them to space, and you keep getting rewards. So the benefit or the bonus of doing that is they've added a new objective. I forget the name of it, where you build this thing. It's like a pyramid, and it's made out of a new resource called stainless steel. Well, you build these platforms, and you can build a platform that's got a plot so that you can grow a seed. So when you send a human to space, you get a drop pod that's got all your rewards in it. Well, there's seeds in there that you can grow. When you build this pyramid and you build these platforms, you have to lay down soil by using bio waste, and then you can plant these seeds. That is kind of like an end game feature, I guess, or thing where you can continue to do. Now the thing is, you need bio waste to drop into the box for the soil, and I think it's called bio waste. So it's biomass, and there's different kinds of it, but I think it's actually called bio waste. You need a full stack of 20 to fill the box to put the seed in. I think the seed will grow without it being full. I'm not sure. I just started getting into it on my main character, so I haven't like toyed around with that. So it's important that you collect the biomass by killing, you know, mobs as you go. So I mean, you can race to the end game in this and do the absolute minimum, and you might get there. It might be a difficult road, you know, if you get to an objective that you need to do to get the XP and you ain't got the resources. But yeah, there's multiple ways to play this game. You know, there's many people on YouTube, you know, they're saying that, you know, don't do this, or you need to do this, or don't do this until you watch this video. That they're tricking you into watching their video. to get the views and stuff. There's no set way that you need to do anything in this game. Do it your way, and however you want. Like I said, there's multiple ways of playing the game. You can do the bare minimum to get you by, to get to the end game, to where you can do other stuff. You know, like build that pyramid and plant more trees. I don't know what happens if you fill everything with trees, or I don't know. Like I said, that's new to me, and I'm still working on it on my other character. Or like me, you can take your time getting there and dismantle everything. You know, every place you stop to investigate or explore, clean it out, scrap everything that you can find, and build up your stash of resources. And then and the key is just enjoy the game. You know, don't let others, you know, manipulate you into, like, you have to do it this way, it's the only way to do it. No, do it your way. You know, that's the beauty of individuality. You know, we're all going to do things the way we want. I'll probably go ahead and level up this character, I guess you could call it. I mean, we don't name them, so I don't know if you really want to call it a character or just a different account or whatever. And I've already got quite a few videos. I'm going to revisit like certain areas and like redo tutorials on, like, when you get here, what do you do, where do you go, how do you access this, how do you make this work. I wasn't as vocal in my first bunch of videos. I'm going to try to be a little bit more vocal. I do know that some people, they pick up on that better when there's more vocal input on a video. So I will do my best to try to be more vocal. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it feels weird sitting here looking at my screen and talking. It's like I'm talking to nobody or myself, you know, and it's like, you know, you see people do that, your first thought is, okay, we need to put you away, you know. But anyways, you know, I'm not going to tell you guys how to do things. All I want to do is show you and just make suggestions, you know, like, you know, you can do it this way or you can do it this way, you know, but, you know, do it however you want, but here are some options, you know, that I'm going to, you know, try to give you and show you, you know, that you can do along the way. So we'll get into it and we'll see how it goes. If I can help at least one person, then I'm satisfied. You know, I don't need, you know, I'm not going to beg for likes. I'm not going to beg for subs. I'm not going to make my what do you call them? My thumbnail, I guess. Is that what they're called? I'm not going to make them so that they, you know, you need to watch my video or whatever. You know, it's just straight to the point is all you're going to get with me. I'm not going to give you no flashbangs at the beginning of the video. You know, flashing lights, loud music, whatever. To the point is all you're going to get with me. I don't see the point in making flashy videos. Videos that I do want to watch, I always fast forward through all that crap because I don't think it's necessary. If you need all that flashbang and stuff, then I really don't need you as a viewer or a subscriber. I mean, I do appreciate you, but I mean, I'm not gonna do all that. So you're just, with my videos, you're gonna get the objective that you're looking for if you're looking for something specific in one of my videos. So yeah, that's me. I don't ask for nothing. If you want to subscribe, I do appreciate it, and I will appreciate it, but I'm not going to beg for it. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to beg for that. I'm not going to beg for likes. I'll leave the comments open. You know, you guys are free to comment. I will respond to all of them as I see them. I'll apologize firsthand that if you do comment and I miss it, it takes me a minute to get to. Like, I did have one comment to one of my other videos that was a month old and I missed it, and so I reply to the dude, apologize, saying, hey, I missed your comment, and then ask, hey, did you figure out what he commented on? So I don't know if he'll see it or when he'll see it, but I will do the best I can to interact with everybody. But, I'm going to give you a preemptive apology if I do miss. I do have an active lifestyle outside of playing games, so I do take breaks from time to time. So anyways, I'm going to end this here, and then hope to see you guys down the road. Thanks for watching.